center of mass of Earth Moon system. In this diagram, let us consider this is a sun. Around this sun, all the planets are revolving in an elliptical path. In those planets, Earth is also one of the planet. For the Earth, Moon is a co-planet and the Moon is revolving around the Earth. Here, both Earth and Moon moving in circular paths about their center of mass. Okay, compared to the Moon, Earth is huge object. Due to this, the center of mass of Earth Moon system lies nearer to the center of mass of the Earth. We already know that the center of mass lies nearer to the heavier object. Okay, here compared to the Moon, Earth is a huge object. Due to this, the center of mass of both Earth Moon system lies nearer to the center of mass of the Earth. Okay, and there are some internal forces and there are some interactions between the Earth and Moon, and due to these interactions, the combined center of mass of the Earth Moon system or the motion of the center of mass of the combined Earth Moon system does not depends. Here the interaction between Earth and Moon does not affect the motion of center of mass of combined Earth Moon system. Okay, here the gravitational force of attraction of the sun, it is only an external force which is acted on all the planets of our solar system. Here also the motion of center of mass of Earth Moon system is only influenced by the gravitational force of attraction of the sun. Okay, but not influenced by the interactions between the Earth and Moon. Here the motion of center of mass of Earth Moon system is influenced by the external force. It is nothing but the gravitational force of attraction of the sun. Okay, this is only an external force which is acts on the all the planets of the solar system. Here, the motion of center of mass of the Earth Moon system is also influenced by the gravitational force of attraction of the Sun, and it does not influenced by the interaction of the Earth Moon system. That's why the center of mass of Earth Moon system, the center of mass of Earth Moon system is revolving around the Sun, is revolving around the Sun in elliptical path. Okay, simply here all the planets are revolving around the Sun. In those, Earth is one of the planet. For the Earth, Moon is its co-planet. Okay, compared to the Moon, Earth is huge object. Due to this, the center of mass is a point which is lies nearer to the heavier object. Here also, the center of mass is lies nearer to the center of mass of the Earth. Okay, the center of mass of Earth Moon system is lies nearer to the center of mass of the Earth. Okay, there is also the interaction between the Earth and Moon, but this interaction does not affect the motion of center of mass of the Earth Moon system. Why? Because of there is a greater gravitational force of attraction. It acts like external force on the motion of center of mass of the Earth Moon system, and this external force is acts for all the planets in the solar system. Only the gravitational force of attraction due to the Sun, it is only influenced by the motion of center of mass of the Earth Moon system, and this motion of center of mass of the Earth Moon system does not affects by the interactions between those two. Okay, that's why the combined center of mass of Earth Moon system is revolving around the Sun in an elliptical path. Okay, this is the center of mass of the Earth Moon system. In this application, there is a block of mass small m is placed on the wedge of mass capital M, and the system is placed on horizontal surface, and the base length of the wedge is capital L. All the surfaces are smooth. Due to this, by the time block reaches to the bottom, the wedge is displaced like this. Now, the displacement of the wedge is how much? Here, we want to find in this application okay, the mass of the block is small m and the mass of the wedge is capital M, base length of wedge is capital L. All the surfaces are smooth. Due to this, the block slides on the inclined plane of the wedge. By the time block reaches to the bottom, the wedge is displaced in forward direction. We want to find the displacement of the wedge. And it is some displacement x. We want to find the value of the x. Okay. Here, by the time block reaches to the bottom, the wedge is moving in this direction, and the wedge is moves through a displacement some x. Okay, in the horizontal direction, the block moves through a displacement of the final position of the block is at here. Okay, at here the horizontal displacement is L minus x. L minus x is the horizontal displacement travelled by the block. And in this system also there is no external force acting. Due to this, along the horizontal direction, the center of mass of the system does not change. According to principle of moments, mass into displacement, mass of the block into displacement travelled by the block is L minus x is equals to mass of the wedge into displacement travelled by the wedge is some x. Okay, in this ml minus mx is equals to capital M into x. Okay, by solving this we got the RHS side there is a common term capital X. By getting common capital X, it is ml equals to x into capital M plus small m. From this we can solve that x equals to ml by m plus m, where capital M is the mass of the wedge and small m is the mass of the block. This is the expression for displacement travelled by the wedge due to motion of the block on the smooth surface of the wedge. Okay, in this, if d is the length of the inclined plane, then if d is length of inclined plane and theta is angle of inclination, then it is a right angle triangle like this is D and this is L, and here the angle of inclination is theta. From this, cos theta is L by D. In the place of L we can substitute D cos theta. Okay, now this expression also can be written as like displacement travelled by the wedge x is equals to m into d cos theta by mass of the wedge plus mass of the block. This is the displacement travelled by the wedge in terms of base length, and this is the displacement travelled by the wedge in terms of length of the inclined plane. Okay. Okay, in this application there is a boat of mass capital M. It is at a distance x1 from the shore, and inside the boat a person is standing. The mass of the person is small m, and he is at a distance x2 from the shore, and the length of the boat from one end to other end is L. Now the person standing on the boat, if he is moves from one end to the other end, finally the position of the person is at here. Okay, there is no external force acting on this system. Due to this, the position of center of mass from the shore does not change. Once again, there is no external force acting on the boat. Okay, due to this, when there is no external force acting on the system, the position of center of mass does not change. Here also, while moving the person from one end to the other end, the position of the center of mass is staying at there from the shore. Okay, finally the person, he is at a distance x2 dash from the shore, and the mass of the boat, which is at a distance x1 dash from the shore, but there is no change in the distance of the center of mass from the shore. Why? Because of there is no external force acting on this system. And finally, what are the values of x1 dash and x2 dash? In this diagram, while the person moving from one end of the boat to the other end, the position of the center of mass does not change from the shore. Next to that, okay, to stay the center of mass position at there, the boat displaces in backward direction of displacement s. Okay, now we want to find the displacement traveled by the boat and what is the position of the mass of the boat and what is the displacement of the person inside the boat in final condition from the shore. Okay, now initially the mass of the boat is capital M, mass of the person small m, okay, and the boat is the mass of the boat, the center of mass of the boat, not combined center of mass. Here this star mark Cm, this is the combined center of mass of the person and the boat, and this is the mass of the position of mass of the person, and this is the mass of the boat. Okay, capital M is at a distance of x1 from the shore, okay, and small m is at a distance of x2 from shore. Now the center of mass is, it is like a formula m1 x1 plus m2 x2 by m1 plus m2. Here m into x1 plus small m into x2 by m1 plus m2. Okay, these are the initial parameters. When the person moving from one end of the boat to the other end, this is the final position of the boat. Now the person is at here. The person is at a distance of x2 dash and boat is at a distance of x1 dash from shore, and person is at a distance of x2 dash from the shore, and there is no external force acting on the boat. That's why the center of mass position from the shore is constant, it does not change. Okay, here also at the final position the center of mass is, for the boat mass is capital M and it is at a distance x1, and for the man mass is small m and he is at a distance x2 dash by the total mass capital M plus small m. Okay, the center of mass in initial and final case, it is at a distance, it is at the same distance from the shore. That's why by equating these two we got that capital M into x1 plus small m into x2 by m plus m is equals to capital M into x1 dash plus small m into x2 dash by m plus m. Okay, by cancelling the common terms in both sides, we got that capital M into x1 plus small m into x2 is equals to capital M into x1 dash plus small m into x2 dash. Okay, now in this figure, x1 dash can be written as like x1 is the distance from the shore to the mass of the boat. Now the boat displaces through a displacement s. Due to this, x1 dash is written as like x1 plus s and x2. Here also the boat displaces through a displacement s. Okay, in the direction opposite to the direction of the person. Now x2 dash can be written as like x2, the person moving on the boat from this side to this side. Now he is approaching towards the shore. That's why the displacement from the shore is decreased by the value of length of the boat. That's why it is x2 minus L. In the same time, the boat is displaces through a distance s. Okay, plus s. By substituting these two values, we got that m into x1 plus small m into x2 is equals to capital M into x1 dash is x1 plus s and small m into x2 dash is x2 minus L plus s. Okay, by expanding this equation in RHS side, it is capital M into x1 plus small m into x2 is equals to capital mx1 plus capital M into s plus small m into x2 minus small m into L. Okay, plus small m into s. On the both sides, capital mx1 and small mx2 are the common terms. By cancelling them, and minus small ml on getting this side, it is plus small ml is equals to ms capital M into s plus small m into s. Okay, there is a common term s, on getting common it is small m plus capital M. Now it is s equals to ml by small m plus capital M. This is the displacement travelled by the boat to stay the center of mass at the same distance from the shore. S is equals to small ml by small m plus capital M. Okay, by substituting the value of s at here, we got the value of x1 dash. It is nothing but distance of the center of mass of a boat, not to the combined center of mass. Once again, this star mark is the combined center of mass of the both person and boat, and this is the center of mass of the boat. Okay, this is the mass of the boat. Okay, right, x1 dash is the distance from the shore to the mass of the boat. Now the value of x1 dash is x1 plus s. Here already the value of s is ml by small m plus capital M. This is the distance between the shore and mass of the boat. And x2 dash, x2 dash is equals to x2 dash is distance between the person and the shore at the final condition. Okay, x2 dash is equals to x2 minus L plus S. Okay, plus S, the value of S is ml by small m plus capital M. Okay, on solving this, we got that x2 dash is equals to x2 minus small ml and minus capital ML, and there is already small ml by small m plus capital M. Okay, by cancelling the common terms, by cancelling minus ml and plus ml, finally we got that x2 dash is equals to x2 minus x2 dash is equals to x2 minus capital ML by m plus m. Okay, this is the distance between the person and boat at the final condition. And while the person is moving from one end of boat to the other end of the boat with a velocity v, person moves from one end to other end with velocity v. V is nothing but while the person travels a displacement L, he moves on the boat from one end to other end. That's why the displacement traveled by the person is L. V equals to dl by dt, while the velocity of the boat is, due to this, to maintain the center of mass position at the same distance from the shore, the boat moves through a displacement of s in opposite direction to the displacement of the man. Due to this, velocity of the boat is ds by dt. Here, v is the velocity of the person. On the boat, the velocity of the person travels the length of the boat from one side to the other side. Here, against to the direction, the boat displaces through a displacement of s. Okay. Now, by substituting the value of s, Vb equals to d by dt of the value of s is ml by small m plus capital M. On solving this, we got that m by small m plus capital M into dl by dt. Already we know that the dl by dt is nothing but v. Okay, finally Vb is equals to small m by small m plus capital M into v. Finally we got the velocity of the boat with respect to the velocity of the person as velocity of the boat is equals to mass of the person by total mass of the boat and person into velocity of the person. Okay, these are the different formulas in this application. Okay, here this S, this is not m by s, here the s is the distance travelled by the boat in the direction opposite to the direction of the displacement traveled by the person. This is not m by s. Okay, right. Methods to locate center of mass. Generally, there are three methods of location for the center of mass, in which one is method of symmetry, okay, and the second one is method of decomposition, and the third one is method of integration. Okay, these are the three methods to locate center of mass, in which the first method is method of symmetry. In this method, let us consider there are some symmetrical shape objects, and this is a triangle, okay, A, B, C. Now draw the parallel lines to the base BC. These are the parallel parts of the triangle to the base BC. Now locate the center of mass of the each part. For this part, the center of mass is at here, and for this part, the center of mass. These are the position of center of mass of the each part. Now, by line joining the all center of mass positions, this is a line like this, it is called median. Similarly, for the side AC, we can draw the parallel lines like this. Then the center of mass of, by line joining the center of mass of all parts, this is also a median like this. And for the AB, we can split the parallel parts, the median is like this. Now this is the concurrent line of the all the three medians. This is the center of mass of this triangle. This is how we can locate the center of mass of the symmetrical objects. If in case of two circular discs, okay, let us consider the first disc of radius small r1 and the second disc of radius, second disc which is in contact with the first one, and it having the radius r2. Now these two discs are in contact. The radius of the first disc is r1 and the radius of the second disc is r2, and the thickness of each disc is some t, and these two discs are made with the same material. The same material means the density of the both discs is same. Now how we can find the position of center of mass from the radius of the first disc? Position of center of mass from R1, center of the first disc, okay, or center of mass from center of the first disc. Here the center of mass of the first disk is at here only, that's why the x1 is equals to 0, and the center of mass of the second disk is at here. From the center of the first disk, it is at a distance of r1 plus r2. Okay, and we having the formula of the center of mass as m1 x1 plus m2 x2 by m1 plus m2. Now we having the values of x1 and x2, and what about the values of m1 and m2? Here mass is nothing but volume into density. Here volume of the disk is nothing but area into thickness. Here m1 is equals to area is pi r1 square into thickness d into density rho. Similarly, the mass of the second disk is pi r2 square into its thickness into density. Here those two disks are made with same material, that's why the densities are same, rho and rho. Okay, by substituting the values, we got the values of xc as m1 means, of course it is m1 is multiplied with x1. Here x1 is 0, that's why m1 x1 total term is 0, and m2, the value of m2 is pi r2 square into t into rho, and the value of x2 is r1 plus r2 by m1 plus m2. This is the value of m1, pi r1 square t rho, and this is the m2. By combining these two, the common term is pi t rho. By getting common pi t rho, it is r1 square plus r2 square. By cancelling the common terms pi t rho in the numerator and the denominator, the position of center of mass is xc is equals to, the position of center of mass is xc from the center of the first disk. xc is equals to r2 square into r1 plus r2 by r1 square plus r2 square. Okay, similarly in the case of spheres, in case of spheres, this is the first sphere of radius small r1. Okay, it is in contact with the second sphere of radius small r2. Now the position of center of mass from center of the first sphere is okay. Similarly, in case of squares, we can substitute cube. It is xc is equals to r2 cube into r1 plus r2 by r1 cube plus r2 cube. This is the, in the same manner, in the place of x1 is 0, in the place of x2 is r1 plus r2, but here the values of the masses are x1 is equals to 0 and x2 is equals to r1 plus r2. From the center of the mass of the first disk, it is centered at there, that's why x1 is equals to 0, but from the center of mass of the first disk, the center of mass of the second disk x2 is at a distance of r1 plus r2. Here the values of m1 is, mass is volume into density, volume of the sphere is 4 by 3 pi r1 cube into density rho, and the value of m2 is 4 by 3 pi r2 cube into rho. By substituting the values in this formula xc, m1 x1 plus m2 x2 plus m1 plus m2 in the same manner, we got the formula for the position of the center of mass from the center of the first sphere is xc is equals to r2 cube by r1 plus r2 into r1 cube plus r2 cube. And the next application is two rods of length L1 and L2 are joined in a T shape. Now the position of center of mass from the center of the first rod of length L1 is, here there are two rods, one is L1 and another one is L2. These two rods are made with same material and joined in the T shape. Okay. Now the center of mass position from the center of mass of the first rod of length L1 is. The combined system of center of mass is let at here. Okay. Now this is at a distance of L1 by 2. This is the center of mass of the first rod. Okay. And here x1 is equals to 0. Why? Because of we can find the center of mass of the system from center of mass of first rod of length L1. We can find the center of mass from here. That's why at here x1 is equals to 0 and x2, the center of mass of the second rod, which is at a distance of L2 by 2, and the value of x2 is L2 by 2. Okay, we having the formula for the center of mass is xc is equals to m1 x1 plus m2 x2 by m1 plus m2. There are two linear shaped rods and formula for the masses are mass is equals to here for the linear shapes length into density, and m2 is length into density, mass of the second rod. These two rods are made with same material, that's why here the densities are same. These two rods are made with same material. Okay, by substituting the values, we got the center of mass of the system xc is equals to m1 into x1. The value of x1 is 0 because of we can find out the center of mass of the system from center of mass of the first rod. Okay, and m1 x1, the value of x1 0, that's why m1 x1 is 0, and m2 x2, the value of m2 is L2 rho into x2, it is L2 by 2 by m1 plus m2, it is L1 rho plus L2 rho. Okay, in the numerator and the denominator, the common term is density of the rod. By cancelling the density, we got that the center of mass of the system is xc is equals to L2 square by 2 into L1 plus L2. This is the center of mass of two rods of length L1 and L2 are made with same material, are joined by the T shape. This is the position of center of mass from the center of mass of the first rod. xc is equals to L2 square by 2 into L1 plus L2. There is another application like a uniform wire of length L. Okay, a uniform wire of length L. Now this is the center of mass of the wire. Okay, now this wire is bent into form of a circle. Now this is the center of mass of that loop. Here there is a wire and this wire is bent into form of a loop. Okay, this is the initial position of the center of mass where the object is like a uniform thing, and this is the center of mass where the object is bent into form of a circle. This is the shift in center of mass. Here the shift in center of mass is nothing but the radius of the loop. Here the shift in center of mass is equals to radius of that circular loop. Okay, that shift in center of mass is some S is equals to radius of the circular loop. Here this entire length is now bent into form of a circular loop. That's why here L is equals to 2 pi r. Only this length forms this circular loop. That's why the circumference of the circular loop is nothing but the length of the wire. From this, R is equals to L by 2 pi. Okay, that's why the shift in center of mass is radius of that circular loop, it is L by 2 pi. This is the method how we can find the shift in center of mass when the uniform bodies are bent into form of the circular shape. Okay, and the another applications like a uniform rod of length L. Okay, now this uniform rod is bent into form of a, now this uniform rod is bent at its center like this. Here the length of the uniform rod is L. Now this is the, at its center we can bend the uniform rod. Now this is the L by 2 and this is also L by 2. This is the total angle between those two is theta. Here the initial center of mass position is this. Now bending the center of mass is lies at here. Okay, for this path the center of mass is at a distance of L by 4. For this path the center of mass is at a distance of L by 4, like that. Okay, for these two the center of mass position is at here. The shift in center of mass is from here to, after bending the center of mass becomes to here. The shift in center of mass is from here to here. Here how we can find the value of shift in center of mass. This is the total angle theta. Let us consider this is some O, this is A and this is some B. The angle of AOB is equals to theta. Here this is the center of mass of the system when the rod is bent at its midpoint. Okay, this is the center of mass of the first part and this is the center of mass of the second part and this is the combined center of mass. Okay, this is the combined center of mass. Here C1C is equals to C2 and the angle of OCC2 is equals to theta by 2. At here there is an angle 90 degrees. This is like a right angle triangle. Okay, and this is the angle of theta by 2. In this we can write the cos theta by 2 as, it is the ratio of adjacent side to hypotenuse. This is the hypotenuse. Of course the hypotenuse is the denominator term, it is OC1 and This is the adjacent side. The adjacent side is OC. Okay, here OC is the shifting center of mass, and the value of OC1 is L by 4. By substituting the values, we can get cos theta by 2 is equals to OC, shifting center of mass, by OC1. The entire length of the rod is L. By bending this rod at its center, the length of this part is L by 2. And again this part having the center of mass at a distance of L by 4. Okay, and the OC1 is L by 4. Now the shifting center of mass is OC. It is equals to L by 4 into cos theta by 2. In these two methods, how we can find the shifting center of mass?